ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्र भाष्य कृतौ वंदे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम लास्ट मंत्र मंत्र नंबर 12। ब्रह्मैवेदममृतं पुरस्तात् ब्रह्मैवेदममृतं पुरस्तात् ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणतश्चोत्तरेण ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणतश्चोत्तरेण अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृतं ब्रह्म अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृतं ब्रह्म एवेदं विश्वमिदं वरिष्ठम् एवेदं विश्वमिदं वरिष्ठम्। अगेन ब्रह्मैवेदममृतं पुरस्तात् ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणतश्चोत्तरेण ब्रह्मैवेदममृतं पुरस्तात् ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणतश्चोत्तरेण अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृतं ब्रह्मैवेदं विश्वमिदं वरिष्ठम् अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृतं ब्रह्मैवेदं विश्वमिदं वरिष्ठम्। We discussed in the last mantra that it is self-revealing, self-existing fact. Brahman, that is me. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni. Now, here the teacher reveals this fact that everything is Brahman. Sarvam khalu idam Brahman or Isha Vasyam idam Sarvam that is being revealed here by this mantra. What does it say? Brahmai Veda Amrutam. Brahmai Vedam Amrutam. Brahma Eva Idam Amrutam. Idam, into bracket Sarvam, Brahma Eva. Which Brahma? Amrutam Brahma. In the previous mantra, it was said Chid Brahma. Now it says Amrutam Brahma. All Idam means all that is there, Purastad, in front of me, is Amrutam Brahma, immortal Brahma, imperishable Brahma. Brahma Paschad, all that is behind is Brahman. Purastad Brahma, Paschad Brahma, Dakshinatascha, Uttarenas. All that is there in south, that is Brahman. And all that is there in north, that is Brahman. Adascha, Urdhvamcha. All that is below is Brahman. And all that is above is Brahman. And he says, Brahma eva Vishwamidam Varishtham. This Brahman alone is which Brahman? Varishtham Brahman, most exalted. Varishtham and Varenyam in the Gayatri Mantra, it means same. The most exalted, most sought after, that is, but can be interpreted as exalted, the Varenyam. Varenyam means most sought after. Tat Savitur Varenyam, that most sought after. Here it is said, that which is most exalted. That most exalted Brahman is this Vishwam. Now we saw the earlier part, Idam Purastad, Paschad, Dakshinatascha, Uttarascha, Adashordvam. Means all the six direction is nothing but Brahma. Now please understand this sentence. Brahma eva idam Vishwam. All that is Vishwam is Brahman. Okay. Vishwam means all that is known and unknown. All that is objectified, objectifiable. Known in the past, unknown in the past, known in the present, known in the present, or known in future. All that is here and hereafter. If there is heaven, then in heaven, or that black hole, all is Brahman. Okay. Now, here you need to know certain grammar. You know, people study Shastra, but in absence of proper understanding of certain terminologies, either they don't understand or they misunderstand. That is what happens, especially in Upanishad and in Bhagavad Gita also. Yoga is the most confused word. More so, Karma Yoga is the most confused. And all these yogis means all Asana Pranyama Yogi, okay? Not Patanjali Ashtanga Yogi. Asana Pranyama, that is all they know, yoga. That means some acrobatics. Asana Pranayama, and some of them are doing acrobatics only. Not knowing the anatomy of the body and not studying the whole thing. It is Ashtanga. There are 8 limbs. So then it is like different limbs of the body. And they quote, Bhagavan has said in Gita, Tasmat Yogi Bhavarja. Yoga word in Bhagavad Gita itself is used in so many different ways. Meaning is quite different. You need to study proper from a proper teacher, Shastra, and then interpret. Like a simple example I give. There is a name of every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter is Arjuna Vishad Yoga. Second chapter is Sankhya Yoga. Third chapter is Karma Yoga. Fourth chapter is Karma Sannyas, Gnana Sannyasa Yoga. Fifth is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Sixth is Dhyana Yoga. Their yoga word has different meaning. Yoga means Vishaya, the subject matter. And there's a huge means to join. What is the first chapter? Arjuna Vishada Yoga. That means you join with Vishada. That's what Bhagavan taught. You don't need to be taught. You know, you are already united with Vishada. You have to be sort of separated from Vishada. But there's a Arjuna Vishada. It has a different meaning. Similarly, there is something called Samana Adhikaranyam. Samana Adhikaranyam. Understand this. This sentence, Brahmaiva idam Vishwam, is very loaded. Not simple sentence, everything is Brahman. No. It has a different, some more meaning to it. What is Samanadhikaranam? Samana Vibhaktikanam Bhinna Pravrittinam Padanam Ekasmin Pade Tatparyam. This is how our Rishis have studied whole thing. How you interpret a sentence. In a sentence, there are different words having a same case ending, Samana Vibhakti. But all of them have different meaning individually. The words having different meaning, if in a sentence they have a same Vibhakti, and all of them are implying or meaning the same vastu, then there is called Samanadhikaranyam between the words. The relationship between the words is called Samanadhikaranam. Adhikaranam means location, Vishaya, Samana Vishaya, same Vishaya they are telling. We know this because that's how we interpret. But sometimes we don't know how to interpret properly. Therefore, as I said, we misinterpret. Samanadhikaran. This Samanadhikaranyam is 4 types in a way. We'll just tell 3 types here. One is Adhyasika Samanadhikaran, superimposed. Like when you say Shivalinga, Shivalingaha Eva Shiva. It is actually a Shaligramaha Vishnu. Shaligrame Vishnu Pashet. In Shaligrama, you see Vishnu. In Lingam, you see Shiva. That Samanadhikaranyam is Adhyasika. You are superimposing Bhagavan Vishnu in Shaligrama. You are superimposing Lord Shiva in Lingam. Lingam is not Shiva. Knowing fully well, you are superimposing. Or exactly, Dhvaje Rashtrabha. In a national flag, it's just a piece of cloth with some color. That's all. But there is a superimposition of national pride of the whole nation. So this is called Adhyasika Samanadhikaranam. I am Dvajaha Rashtraha. This is nation for me. So insult of a national flag is looked upon as insult of the nation. That is Adhikaran, Samanadhikaran. Another one is Visheshana Vishesha Samanadhikaran. Big red rose. Brahad Raktam Pushpam. 3 words. Brahad means big, Raktam means red, Pushpam means flower. So, but when you say Neelam Mahad Utpalam or big Neela Utpala, Utpala means lotus. But all of them imply one vastu, an object called lotus, which is of this color and which is of this size. That is Vishesha. Now, what is Samanadhikaranyam? Sarvam Brahma. Here it says, Vidam Vishwam Brahma. Both are in neuter gender. Brahman is also neuter. Purastad Brahma, front is Brahman, back is Brahman, right, left, up, down, everything is Brahman. And that you see, known, unknown, etc., everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman means what? Is everything a Visheshana of Brahman? Or there is a deliberate superimposition of Brahman on Vishwa? Like you look upon Lingam as Shiva. So you see Jagat as Brahman. There are people, you try to do that. So everything is Brahman, everything is Brahman, Brahman, they keep repeating. No. It is Madhayam Samanadikaran. You have to negate. And then see that as something to be negated. How negated? Cognitive negation, not physical. Overseeing cognitively, not with the eyes. How? When I say, all these ornament is gold, all this chain and bangle and rings and earrings, everything is gold. When I say everything is gold, means what? As they say, in English, transcending. You transcend the chain and see the gold. You see something plus something. Even if you see the chain, but you see the gold also. And you transcend the chain. इसको कहेंगे उससे अतीत देखना. You see beyond chain. There is only one fellow who doesn't see the gold. Where is gold? This is only chain. You have to tell him, see beyond chain. The beyond is not in terms of distance. Beyond is in terms of your cognition. Beyond is in terms of your understanding. You have to understand it to be gold. You have to develop an eye to identify this is real gold, 22 carats or whatever it is. And that is called seeing beyond. Understand this? That Purushsukta Rucha, first Rucha, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. He pervades the entire world and remains beyond the world. How it is possible? There's a unique thing. Vishwaidam Brahma. The Swami Dayanji often used to say, this is a Rishi arithmetic. What is Rishi arithmetic? Idam Vishwa is Brahma, but Brahma is not Vishwa. How? And he used to give an example. An actor becoming a beggar. Actor A, beggar B. B is A, but A is not. Actor is richer. In fact, he is going to be more richer by becoming beggar. He is a beggar, but becoming beggar, not real. But B is A. B is non-separate from A. In other words, beggar is not independent of the actor. Satta Spurti, its existence, its Kriya Shakti, all is borrowed from actor. But the actor is not beggar when he can be independent of beggar. Beggar is, actor is. But actor is, beggar may or may not necessary. That is a Rishi equation. Generally, when A is B or B is A, then A is B equally. Here B is A, but A is not B. Vishwam is Brahman, but Brahman is not Vishwam. And in that equation, when B is A, but A is not B, listen this carefully. The reality of B is called Mithya. There are objects in the world. watch and book and table and computer and mouse and tumbler and iPhone and pad, etc. All. There is object, but there is no object for the word mithya. Understand? When I say there is no object called mithya, then what is mithya? What is mithya? Mithya is mithya. English mithya, they can't spell the mithya, yoga, mithya. So mithya is mithya. No, mithya is your understanding about the reality of the thing. When it is said, whole Jagat is Brahman, that means Jagat is Mithya. When I say all ornament is gold, the so-called ornament is Mithya. Mithya means there is no real Vastu called chain. Vastu is gold, and chain is only a name and a form, which we mutually agree it is that. We call it a ring, you call it a bangle, but we all call it. But there is nothing called bangle. Though in Vyavahara we say, I bought the bangle, I sold the bangle, but it is the gold that you buy and it is the gold that you sell. You can't buy a bangle without a gold, much less you sell the bangle without gold. you sell the bangle and and this fellow says, okay, this much I'll give you 18,000 rupees and 650 rupees for this bangle. Then he said, okay, give me money. And then he said, come on, give me back my gold. We had a deal only for the bangle. Bangle is only mutual. It is like our currency note. We the people of India, Constitution statement, vested our power to the Prime Minister and the government. And they said, this is 5 rupee note. Otherwise, it's a piece of paper, colored. You agree, all of us, this is 2,000 rupees. Different colored Gandhijis, you can barter Gandhiji for things, Congress is doing bartering Gandhiji. Pink Gandhiji, brown Gandhiji is there, 500 rupees note and this color. You don't do that. It's a mutual agreement. This is 2,000. This piece of paper has a buying power of 2,000. That's all. Similarly, it is on the tongue, bangle, chain, ring. Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satya means Mithya doesn't mean it is not there. Mithya doesn't mean it is useless. When I say chain is Mithya, chain is. When I say chain is Mithya, that doesn't mean I stick gold here, biscuit here. This is my chain. A little less biscuit on the wrist, like a wristwatch. This is my bangle. A little less biscuit on here. This is my ring. No. It has functional reality. Vyavaharik Satya. But absolute reality is, it is a gold, that is it. So the world is because Brahman is. Now look at this, how it is Mithya. Understand this. The chain, the easiness of the chain. When I say chain is, there is easiness is of the gold, shine is of the gold. Anything you say is that there is a gold inside, as though inside, not physically inside. That is where you have to transcend the name and the form and see. Anything you appreciate, okay, anything. Let's say this little watch. You recognize this watch. You see this. And they ask me, Swami, this is your watch? Yeah, that's mine. Nice. You like it? I said, yes, I like it. Look at this. This is watch and I like it. What are there? Easiness is. You appreciate there is a watch, isness. Then there is an awareness about the watch. It is in your consciousness. So Chit is. And you like it. There is Ananda also. So every object there is Satchidananda plus name and form. This particular form, or you can say this particular function, you call it a watch. And this particular way, that Satchidananda is all the way. When you say this is chain, moment you appreciate chain, the gold is, shine is, then only chain is. That is why chain is mithya. Brahmeva idam vishwam. It means sarvam mithya. You have to appreciate the fact. This is not the reality. Reality is Brahman, and that is me. Aham Satchidanandosi Asmi, and Aham Jagat Karanam Asmi. I am that Satchidananda, which is the very substratum, because of whom the whole blessed thing is. That is me. And what else is only name and form. And that is why in Gujarati they say, na, Naam Akhila Brahmandama Ekatu Shri Hari. One vastu. Akhila Gharenama Ekatu Suvarna. Jujave Rupe. Forms are many. Ananta Bhase. You appear as many. Ante to hemanu hem hoy. At the end there is only gold. Therefore the word is Brahma Latka Kare Brahma Sat. The subject is the object. That object is superimposition of name and form. Subject is another superimposition. You may ask me, how is it possible subject and object say? Every day. In your dream, subject is the object. That is the recognition. That is awakening. That is wisdom. Brahmaiva idam varishtham. Ultimately, that is the Brahman. Having said that, we conclude this section, and we will have the new chapter from next class. I had opened the group for some questions should you have. And there are quite a few, though we gave notice very late, but there are a few questions. And then I'll answer them. It was said that a consciousness needs the agency to shine as it is self-revealing, but isn't it the mind the medium through which it is known? You are right. That because you, and then how could the awareness reveal itself if it weren't through the mind? But at the same time, you should know your statement is true. The very knower is also because of mind. And the consciousness is revealed because of, through the mind for the knower. Consciousness itself being non-dual, it doesn't need any knower. It is Purna. But it is a mind in which there is knower, Ahankara. And that Ahankara has to identify, has to know the consciousness as the substratum. So you need a mind. That's true. Thank you, Swamiji, for the valuable teaching and also the opportunity to get clarity by asking questions. My question relates to applying Vedanta in a practical life. When working with a group of people for a common cause, not personal agenda or personal work, it is possible that some people get involved with selfish interest. Many times it goes against the cause. Often it is adharma. Few such people sometimes need to be removed. Then they create trouble. In such situation, how to remain calm, focused on actions based on dharma, and continue to work towards the achieving the appropriate goal. Thank you. Your sentence, I need to correct. You said when you are working for a common cause, it is possible that some people get involved with vested interest. Not possible, it is certain. Okay? You don't say possible. There are always people like that. They are tamasah. Because of tamas and rajas predominant, they can't think beyond themselves. And these people have a tendency to misuse or compromise the very means also for their own self-interest. You see, if you look at Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, from one standpoint of view, there is no difference between Duryodhana and Arjuna. No difference. Why? Both of them want kingdom. Both of them want victory. Both of them want that pride. I mean, that recognition, that name and fame. Both of them want to enjoy kingly pleasures. But you know what is the difference? Duryodhana himself says in the first chapter, in giving a list of the warriors who are there, last moment, stock taking, Bala Balam, he is narrating who are there in our party to Bhishma Pida. Dronacharya, he says, Bhavan Bhishmascha Karanascha Krupascha Samitinjaya Ashwathama Vikaranascha Somadasti Tathaivacha. He gives a list. And he says, Annecha Bahava Shuraha. There are so many warriors. Great warriors. But for what? Madarthe Tyakta Jivita. They are here to die for me. Same thing is there on Arjuna's side. He enumerates who are in our party. You know, so many are there. He said, Bhim, etc. All the list he gives. And then when he sees the relatives, there is a pain in his heart. Arjuna says, Yesham arthe kamkshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhanisha taime vastita yuddhe pranans takva dhananicha. For whose sake I want the victory, for whose sake I wanted the pleasures, power, etc., they are here to die. That means I am fighting for everybody's sake. It is not me and only me. It is me, we and only we. And Duryodhana says, it is me and only me. His goal is a self. There are people, especially in Kali Yuga, there will be ready for it. And sometimes, so while remaining within, they may misuse the organization. For them, organization is a vehicle to push his or her personal agenda. Whereas the very organization is established to push the common agenda. And that common agenda is good of others, not us. It is not mutual good. It is a social service and you want others to be benefited. So his agenda is against the very basic vision about establishing the organization. They are abusing sometimes, misusing. And I also agree that they are there. And if you dish them and remove them, they create more problems. And then your question is, Swamiji, how to remain calm and focused? Accept them. They will be there. Okay? However powerful Narendra Modi and well-meaning Rahul Baba, he is there. You know, you cannot have a government, Narendra Modi's government without Rahul Baba. This Lutean media is there. This is what Kali Yuga is. Accepted. This is what it is. Just as, I'll explain you how to accept. When you get some pain, suddenly back pain or something, and doctor says, it is a standard thing I keep hearing, I don't know much, but there is a gap between L4 and L5. They say, because Madhya Pradesh has grown bigger. So the pressure comes to L4 and L5. And therefore he says, you have to take bed rest. And there is a pain. I have pain, I have pain. There is a resistance to this situation. In the beginning. Anything. Then, after 1 or 2 years, you accept the pain and start living with the pain. And after 2 years, somebody meets and says, oh, 2 years ago I met you and you were in great pain. So it is all gone. You're okay. You're working normally. No, it is there. But I have learned to manage. You have to manage. Such people you have to manage. I appreciate your pain because when you are a well-meaning and well-committed person, you feel that my energies are not used for a constructive cause. You could have worked better so that the cause of the institution would have been fulfilled in a larger scale. But your energies are vested in warding off these negativities and nuisances created by such guys. It is there, but that is a fact. Just as the fellow accepts, this is how my rest of the life will be. I may have to apply the belt, and then there may be some pain, but I have to live with it. You and I have no choice. In this Kali Yuga, we have to live with this pain. Only thing is you should know that you have to keep them cut them to size and keep them within their boundaries. You have to keep them in the boundaries so that they may not hamper or destroy sometimes the very cause of the institution, and they may not be much obstructing to yourself. In that case, put them to the boundaries and keep working. I have enough of them. Okay, and I have been having this for last so many years. This is partly because of selfishness, partly because of jealousy. When you grow, for whatever reason, others can't stand that. So when you are accepted, there is a pain in somebody, and out of jealousy, they try to pull you. Duryodhana was personified jealousy. And for no fault of the Yudhishthira, he didn't do anything improper to him. But he was just jealous. Because the jealousy is primarily non-acceptance on my part about something or somebody having something. Why this person has this? I can't accept. And unfortunate thing is, jealousy, mostly your near and dear one only have jealousy. Not the distant people. Near dear one has jealousy. This fellow bought a Mercedes, the neighbor. And this fellow had only one Maruti Estim or some simple sedan, some in the range of 10, 15 lakhs. Moment the car came and was parked, how come this fellow has Mercedes? From that it starts. There may be 1,000, 5,000 Mercedes in the town, but this 5,001 is only problem. The person, I don't have jealousy for an unknown person who has a Mercedes. Jealousy is only from a known person. And that too near and dear. No fault. Maximum explanation you can give, maybe sometimes, not all the time. Jealousy is without reason. But one reason is possible, that I want to have it. I cannot have it because of my limitations. And the other person whom I know has it, and whom I don't appreciate as he or she is. I think he is equal to me. And if I am not capable of having, why should he have it? That's a jealousy. People are there in public cause also. They want to pull you down. But you put them into boundaries and you keep doing the work. And you keep growing. And when you grow beyond certain limit, they will realize themselves and will stop pulling you down. They know that here it is a genuine person committed to goal and he is doing. So they will not even come to you to misuse the organization for vested interest. It will not create problem also. You just focus on growing rather than correcting. Your energies will be wasted. They will never change. They will never improve. A human mind being what it is, unless he or she sees himself the need for change, he or she will not change. And such people never see the need. That's why they are here. In fact, their conclusion is we have to use such organizations for selfish interest. So many people are using, they just tip. So and so did, so and so did, so let me also use it. Unless they see. And they are never, generally they fail to see. So don't waste time in making them see the things which they ought to see or correcting. Just focus on the cause and you grow. Seeing your growth at a certain point, they will give it. I have a question that I believe is along the lines of one earlier question. Trina's question. Did I answer that?
Yeah.
Which was Adrina's question? First one.
Yeah.
I didn't answer. No, I didn't see that. Namaste. Swamiji, in the big, let me address Adrina's question because second question is similar to Adrina's question, Jen's question. So, in the beginning, log this on this section, it was said Guhacharam Nama, etc. Subtler than the subtlest, for I believe it is along the lines of Adrina's question. When doing the Vedanta meditation preparation, moving beyond Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, etc., I get hung up on the question, just who is disciplining this mind? If it is the conscious being, the self, who is observing, then it is not the self who is discipliner. Okay. Yet it seems to be something higher than the mind who is working to redirect our thoughts and awareness, or else our minds would be running wild. At least my mind. Okay. Honestly. Let's see that. Let me read again. In meditation, you prepare a meditator. Please understand. All these exercise of observing prana, observing body, being witness to this, doing some pranayamas, that is all preparing the meditator to meditate. In meditation, meditation is simple. Meditation is like, as we saw in Panchadashi, it was a Gujarati class, it should be like a flow of viscous matter, viscous liquid, like a ghee or oil from one vessel to another vessel. like a flow of river, which is effortless. Meditation is effortless, should be even. You know why? Because you are trying to own up yourself. And that is Ananda. So going to Ananda should be effortless. And that is what you should be looking forward to. So it is there. But then meditation becomes meditation. You know, MEDI becomes MADI. You got mad. You're American mad, you know. Sometimes you get angry on others and yourself because the meditator is not ready. If meditator is ready, meditation is most simple thing and something which you always look forward to, just sahajam. When there is effort involved in meditation, that means meditator is still getting ready. When you effortlessly can meditate, that is meditator is ready. All this exercise of going beyond is for meditator, understand? Okay? So, don't get hung up to the question, who is disciplining the mind? The meditator is disciplining its own sadhana means. The karta ahankara, as of now, meditator is ahankara. And for ahankara to discover that I am not ahankara, I am Satchidananda, it has to have certain frame of mind and certain readiness. And that ahankara is preparing for this. There is nothing beyond. The ahankara is trying to discipline the mind, which is its means. But somehow because of identification with the mind, it is the other way around. As I often tell, and this I had mentioned in Upadesh Saram, it is like having a pet dog. People have some particular breed of a pet dog and is a big one. And a girl of 14 or 15 years, she wants to show off to her friends, wants to take the dog for a walk. And that day, the master not being there, dog senses that this girl is manageable. If as a routine, if the dog is supposed to turn right, that the dog goes to left. And she keeps on telling, John, no, Tommy, no, and it doesn't listen. Okay. This is as they say, the events to come in future cast their shadow now. This is that. In future, when she is going to marry John, he is not going to listen. John, no, it's not going to work. So that future event is casting the shadow now. And they go for a walk. At home, she told, I am taking the dog for a walk. But actually, dog is taking her for a walk. Mind is antakaranam. It is my mind. Yad madiyatvena gnatam tad atmana bhavati. What is addressed as mind cannot be I. You address car as my car, address house as my house, you don't become house. If you don't say I am house, you don't say I am car. But when it comes to mind, you don't say that. But the manasa guna, the qualities of mind is my mind. Unhappiness belongs to mind. Agitations belong to mind. Whatever irritation, thoughts, belongs to mind. But you say I am irritated. You say I am agitated. It no more is a means, it is a master. That ahankara is practicing itself to separate itself from mind. In a technical language, ahankara is working to de-identify from the mind. All these exercises. Adhyasa is there, tadatma is there, and ahankara has to work to give up that tadatma. Okay? So, who is disciplining the mind? The very Ahankara, the individual. Ahankara means individual. Individual means a small little fellow who thinks I am separate from everyone else and I am nobody, I am useless. That fellow is Ahankara. A sense of doership that he is separating, not the consciousness itself. Okay, consciousness is neither observer nor witness, nothing is there. It is not the self. Who is discipliner? Ahankara is discipliner. That is you, I. Not Sachid I. That is Ahankara. Yet it seems to be something higher than the mind. Yes, it is by nature. Ahankara is not mind. Ahankara is Sakshi of the mind. Because you know, when somebody says, Swamiji, I am very agitated. Swamiji, I am angry. How do you know? You ask that person, how do you know you are angry? I know I am angry, but how do you know? Fact, because I see my anger. And if you are conscious, sometimes you see the anger rising. They say also in Indian languages, when there is an argument between the spouse, now please keep quiet. My temperature is rising. He himself says, my anger is coming. Now you shut up. Please keep mum. Then I will lose myself. He himself says. And when that fellow says, I will lose myself, she says, when you had control in yourself, you always lose yourself. That's why this problem. Then it flares up further. It becomes Ukraine bombarding. Gets so wild about her. That means he has been seeing anger rising. He has been seeing. Even people come and tell us, Swamiji, so much worry is there in mind. And then say, I am very, first he said, I am very much worried. I say, why you say so? You look all right. No, so much worry is there in mind. If it is worry is in mind, why you say I am worried? That means you know worry. Anything that is known is not I. I am the subject and known is object. Object cannot be the subject, but we identify. And that identifier is trying to de-identify by disciplining itself. Okay. I think your question is too long and we may take it up next class. I am still open. We have completed the section. So should you have the questions, you may keep the group open for a day. You can post it and I'll take the questions next class. Tomorrow, there will not be class. There is a function here. Sanchita karma doesn't come to end, even if you die. The example which I gave was with reference to wise person. Just as the person who had some all debts and some credits dies, then suddenly locus is gone, the case is closed, and all the money goes to government. So also when a person gains the knowledge, ahankara dies, his sanchita karma comes to an end. Not otherwise. And Shaya takes place, there is some sanchita has some papa. Okay? Sanchita has punya, both. They are there, unmanifest. But that merges into totality. Or they become like roasted seed, incapacitated to fructify. Okay, I'll conclude the class and then make some announcement. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. In